Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see the new you. My name is Coach Erwin Ursua, live streaming from Quezon City, and you are watching Win Within. Hello, good evening everybody. Good evening winners. So welcome back again here in Win Within on TNC. 8:30 na naman po mga kaibigan. So wherever part of the globe you're watching right now, so maraming salamat. You will be having an empowered evening tonight, of course, because we will be talking about self-empowerment, of course, with our special guest. And it is basically our 8th episode of Win Within, and also the culminating episode for our coaches series. So medyo magbe-break tayo sa mga coaches natin after this show. Yun, so please join me tonight again. So do type in your comments if you're watching live and where from what part of the globe you're watching, or of course in the Philippines here in what city are you watching us from. And also do type your comments, questions, shout outs if you do have shout outs. And of course, speaking of greetings, it's a special day for 2 women in my life. Okay, and of course, it's the birthday today of my sister. So happy birthday, my sister, dear Sharisa. So good evening. And of course, my lovable wife will also celebrate her birthday on Monday, October 26th. So happy birthday, my dear wifey Florence. So yun. So speaking of greetings, so naunang-una na ako sa greetings. So yun. So friends, ready na ba kayo to win within? So I would like to introduce already, hindi ko napapahabay pa para you will, of course, know more about self-empowerment and how it will help us win within. So our guest for tonight actually he had, I think, empowered a lot of people already, no? Why did I say that? Because he is the head pastor of Matthew 5:16 Ministries Church. Yes, he is a pastor, and at the same time, of course, a global certified life coach by the Global Life Coach Training and Entrepreneur Institute based in Dallas, Texas. So he's been a international life coach for already 2 years. And of course, as I've said, he has already empowered a lot of people and because of his life coaching career. So winners, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our seasoned life coach, Coach Pastor Ronald Allan Balang.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you, Coach Erwin, for having me here, and to the audiences of Coach Erwin within. It is an honor to be a part. And I was not aware that it's the eighth episode, and I really love the number eight, not because I am a numerologist, but because in the Bible, number eight is about new beginning. And it is my prayer and the desire that through this episode, we will be empowered by a new beginning. Again, thank you for having me, and good evening to everyone.
Wow, that's a new knowledge for me, Coach Past. Number 8 is new beginning. So yeah.
Yes.
Actually, favorite ko number 8 kasi I was born August, so it's the 8th month, okay? And August 18, so may 8 pa rin ako dun sa ano ko, sa birthday ko. So yun, so beginning. Okay. So okay, that's
Wow.
good. Thank you very much. Meron ako additional knowledge today. Yun. So Coach Paz, so you're streaming live right now in Parañaque. So how's life right now, no? We were still in the pandemic. GCQ pa rin tayo here in Metro Manila. So how is it affecting your life right now as of course as a pastor, as a life coach, your family? So how are you How are you doing right now, Coach?
Well, I would like to start with the word adjust, adjusting, and adjusted, because all of us have been surprised by what transpired at the beginning of 2020. Sumabog yung taal, and then we thought it's just that, and then here comes the pandemic and coronavirus. So lalong-lalo na sa atin, ang mga life coach and our profession, as much as possible, we want to do a face-to-face. In the same way, I'm also a pastor. We are trained to have face-to-face ministry as we empower the people. So during the first few weeks, it's really adjusting, but because of with the support of the people surrounding me, I can literally say right now that we have adjusted from this new normal. So basically, in all aspects of my life, right now, being a life coach, being a pastor, being a husband, it's adjusted, living it and enjoying it.
Wow. Well, that's great, no? Adjusted. So, sabi nga, what we really need is, of course, as a individual, we need to adjust, we need to adapt. We need to adapt of what's happening right now, no? In our environment. Yun, you've said nga, Coach, na as a husband. So, how many, do you have kids already? How many kids do you have, Coach?
Yeah, God that's blessed me with two wonderful boys. The eldest is 10, his name is Dakila, and the youngest is Andres, who's 5 years old. And right now, they are doing homeschooling. And that is the part that I am still adjusting.
Speaking of
Yung pa lang yung part na yun. Yung pa lang yung part na yun, adjusting.
Yeah, speaking of homeschooling, Coach, this is my first time to ask this question. No, I'm sure I've already have guests actually that they are their kids are in homeschooling, but I would just like to take this opportunity to ask this to you right now. So how do you adjust actually, or what are the adjustments that you've done since the kids are in homeschooling? So does it take time? Na you need to help them always. What's happening? I mean, how do you take good care of that situation?
The first thing that I have calibrated within the homeschool idea right now is the number one is my routine, because my daily routine definitely changed when the pandemic happened. So when I started to adjust, here comes the school wherein my kids do the homeschooling. I have to adjust my routine. And in the same way, my patience, kasi there are times, kasi hindi naman tayo talaga sanay na pag nagtatanong sila. Just like the other day, I was working on a material, every now and then, tanong yung anak ko, Daddy, what is Timawa? Daddy, what is barangay? Ganyan. Literally, I exploded. Trabaho mo yan, ba't tanong. So yun. But that's too, my routine and my patience. Yun talaga.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So yun, actually yun nga eh. We are really adjusting to that challenge right now kasi it's not only our kids actually who are going to school right now, but actually it's also us. We are now actually part of the system eh.
Kahit nga ako natuto eh, kasi timawa, di ba ang timawa is pangit sa atin?
Mhm,
Parang
mhm.
timawa, it's
Ah,
an
yeah,
insult.
parang ano yan eh. Kumbaga ano to, colloquial ano ba? Parang ganun. 'Di ba
Parang
parang
it's a colloquial insult. But
mm.
during the ancient Spanish time, ay parang
Mhm.
bago pa dumating it's a hierarchy ng mga
Mhm.
soldiers at mga parang
Mhm.
maganda. Sabi ko, oh, okay, okay. Yan.
So yun pala yun. So yun, sige, yun nga, as I've said, we are really adopting on that, on that
Yeah.
part also. So, work from home. Okay, so family-wise naman, how is it? How is it? How are you doing right now, family?
Well, if this may sound insensitive, I would
Mm-hmm.
like to apologize first. But one good thing that this pandemic have really brought good upon us is really the strengthening of my family. More time with my wife, more time with my kids, despite of the fact na hindi kami makalabas. You know, the usual drive-through is such a joy for me and my kids and my
Mm-hmm.
wife.
Mm-hmm.
Talagang the families way better when this thing happened. So that's all I can say. It's really one of the best perks of the pandemic.
Yeah, and ako naman I agree with that kasi that is what one thing that happened to our family also. So yun. So close family ties and bonding, we get to know each other more. Ako kasi I have big kids already, so they have, of course
Mm.
definitely they have different they have different needs, wants and idiosyncrasies already. So yun. So right now kahit papaano yun, we are already kumbaga in a way blending. Yun nga, 'di ba? Sabi nga it's the new we need to blend as a family. So we are blending. So that's what I'm parang one achievement that I've had with my
Great.
family right now during the pandemic. Okay, so as you've said naman, how about sa church, coach? How's the church activities right now? How do you do your services? How do you do your service or your
Surprisingly,
Sunday service? I mean.
surprisingly, before pandemic, we have a lot of activities. All right. But when pandemic comes, mas madami pa because hawak mo yung I mean, wala ka namang pupuntahan because of the use of technology. Actually, because of the use of technology, I established two new life groups. When you say life group, that is cell group or Bible study to some churches. And then the Sunday service happens online. And then the worship service, kung meron kaming activity, it's really all about online. And the church is way much vibrant and more, should I say, got evolved. It
Mhm,
evolved during this pandemic. So
mhm,
it gets better, as I can say, it's really the work and grace of God. Yung iniisip ko noon, kasi my fear when the pandemic happens, baka anong mangyari sa church. That was my fear. But then,
mhm.
as we go on along the way, God showed me, I got my house, I got your church. It's great. It's really great. That's the word.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that's true. No, God is great. He even supports us actually yan yung mga ministries natin, especially right now. I think the pandemic didn't stop the great works of God, no?
Yes.
But we know, syempre, some of our brethren are also affected. But we know naman that God is always there. Let's just keep on praying that this pandemic will end soon, ano? So do we have greetings right now that we can read? Oh, yun. From Coach Mike Celis. Hello, Coach Erwin and Coach Paz. Hello, Coach. How are you there?
Hello,
How are
Coach
you
Mike.
there in
Hello.
Boracay?
Yes.
Enjoy.
Enjoying La Carmela.
Yun. And Coach Joy. Hello, Coach Joy. How are you? Thank
Hello,
you for
Coach Joy.
watching.
And I know Coach Aga is watching with her.
Ah,
Hello,
okay.
Coach
That's good.
Aga.
Coach Sheila. Hello, hi. How are you?
Hi,
And
Coach Sheila.
yun. So I guess we have three greetings.
Hello,
Questions? We
hello.
have questions already? I guess wala
Oh,
pa, no? Oh, nag-iinit pa lang eh.
wala ko. Wala ko meron.
So coach, ayun, tell us naman about how your journey naman being a life coach. Actually, what do you do before before being a pastor or a life coach?
Hmm.
So what was Coach Alan's work before being a pastor, and at the same time going towards na how did you become a life coach?
Well, it all started when I was in college. I had this insatiable desire really to
Mhm.
empower people. All right.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
then because of that, I became a professor. I became a teacher. Right. Before I entered the full-time ministry, I'm a professor. I was a teacher, a high school teacher, and then a college professor. Then during the pastoral ministry, I'm really looking for effective tools, different
Mhm.
effective tools on how can I empower people na pinapadala sa akin ni God. I mean, we
Mhm.
have counseling, we have teaching, we have preaching, we have mentoring, in all of that. But then there was this one thing that intrigues me is coaching. Kasi I read this
Mhm.
book from Andy Stanley, the next generation leader. It's one of his classic book, and he
Mhm.
talks about the five qualities of the next generation leader, and he divided it into five parts. Puro C, 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 C.
Mhm.
Pagdating dun sa ulo, there was this part, coach, you should be
Uh-huh.
a coach. So nung tinignan ko, parang meron na ako nung apat, assuming, di ba? So I searched, and then I discovered life coaching. Before it was an accident, but I believe it's a divine intervention.
Mhm.
My One of my band, the band leader in our church,
Mhm.
invited me to support him in an open mic. So
Mhm.
sabi ko sa ayan, sabi niya, malapit lang pas dito sa may
Mhm.
Mandaluyong. So
Mhm.
that's where DCAP was before in HMR.
Mhm.
So when I went there together with Coach Denise, when we watched him, and then there was this logo, life coaching. Sabi ko, ito yung hinahanap ko.
Mhm.
And because of that, no haste, I asked, when's the enrollment? So sabi
Mhm.
nila, araw. So siguro dumating ako 1 week before enrollment, and then I enrolled. I
Mhm.
enrolled. And during that time, because I really want to be licensed, to be
Mhm.
certified, eh, siyempre hindi naman, alam mo naman, hindi naman mura yung certification natin, di ba,
Mhm.
coach? So,
Mhm.
I had to sell two of my Seikos. Para may ano,
Okay.
oo,
Kabagal na coach. May kwento rin akong ganyan.
kaya, di ba? I really wanted it. So, sabi nga nung binili, nagbenta, bakit ang mura? Bili mo na lang, baka magbago isip ko.
Mhm. Mhm.
And eventually, I was able to enroll. And then that's my journey towards professor. But habang nagpapasor ako, nagtuturo pa rin ako. And then life coach. And I can say it's worth the investment because
Mhm.
finally, I was able to complete the 5 C's. Yon.
Yun. So you're now a life coach. Ganun, no? Because of that.
Yes.
But ako coach, may story din ako na. I'd just like to tell that, no. Sabi ko rin yan a week before that of the certification class. Sabi ko medyo yung funds medyo kulang pa eh. So sabi ko sige, I have this one rare OPM album. Sabi ko, I'll just sell it for a certain amount, let's say 10,000. Well, actually, yun. So yun. So yun, sabi ko, kasi yun na lang kulang ko that time eh. So tapos sabi ko, I'll gonna post it. If it will be sold, yun. It means I really need to push through with that. But you know what, upon posting, siguro wala pang 10 minutes, may nag-aagawan na. As in, may nag-o-offer pa na, oh, I'll pay higher than than the first one. Sabi ko, no, I only need this amount lang talaga, sabi ko. And you know, if it's really for you, it will happen eh. I guess God is really giving us that kumbaga way in order for us to pursue our passion and at the same time our purpose in life. So yun. So
Mhm.
I guess that's a real blessing to me also. So Yun, being a life coach. So yun. So coach, being a life coach. So far how many have you empowered na kaya? Marami na ba? And sabi ko, we are talking about di ba? Self-empowerment. Of course. So, Coach, I will ask you now already. Actually, it's a hanging question because we'll go on a break right now. Coach, in terms of self-empowerment, how do you think self-empowerment help um, an individual or a person to win within? Of course, Coach, you will answer that later when we come back here in Win Within on TNC. So let's pause for a break first before Coach Pastor Alan answers that question. Okay, so we'll be announcing our shows right now. So please watch all our live stream shows at the new channel. The Big Picture, of course, inspiring stories of notable personalities, Mondays to Fridays, 7 p.m. with Mr. Lloyd Luna. Human Resources Management on HR Hotline, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 12 noon. The Family Business, Everyone's Business, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Live Business and Success Stories on the Fourth Project, Saturdays, 10 p.m. Dubai time and 6 p.m. Philippines. Beauty Beyond What Your Eyes Can See, Usapang Beauty, Saturdays, 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive stories from those who recovered. COVID Stories, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Life Purpose and Turnaround Stories, U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Build and Own a Property, The Home Buyer, Mondays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Laugh and Learn from Puppetry Arts Around the World, The Puppet Stories, Mondays, 5:30 p.m. Magbenta, bumili at tumulong dahil bukas na ang TNC Marketplace, an online night bazaar, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Know Your Rights in the Basic Law, YOLO, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Learn about money and more, Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Philippines and 5:30 a.m. USA time. And later on, more shows. We're going to announce more shows as we bring you back Win Within on TNC. Okay, so welcome back here on Win Within on TNC, and we would like to call back Coach Pastor Alan. Coach?
Hello. Hello again. Yeah, speaking the last question that you
Yes.
that you shared to me, how can you repeat that? So
Yeah.
I will.
Yes, Coach. Yeah, sabi ko nga so right now kumbaga ito na yung main portion of our
Yes.
of our talk show. So self-empowerment, in order for us to win within. So how do you expound on that, coach? How does self-empowerment help us win within? As I know, di ba, self-empowerment is of course taking charge of your own life or greater control of your life, di ba? So yun, how do you expound on that, coach?
Well, each and every one of us have this desire really to empower others. Eh, I don't know, parang lahat ng tao, halos karamihan ng tao, it's within our nature to empower others. But
Mm-hmm.
before we do that, before we reach that point, we really need to learn how to empower ourselves. If I may quote a classic book, and I believe it has been my compass in journeying with self-empowerment by Stephen Covey, and the Seven Habits. I'm sure you are aware of that, Coach Erwin. He
Yes,
talks
of
about
course.
yes, yeah. I don't know, but for me, he talks about the three levels of growth. Kung mali man ako, I'm sorry, but that is how I understand it. Yung dependent,
Inter
independent, and
Independence,
interdependent.
interdependence.
Yeah. For me, greatness lies in the interdependence because that is the part wherein you will maximize the people that will be sent to you. But in order for us to go to greatness, we need the bridge to go there, and that is independent. And
Mm-hmm.
in the part of independence, that is the part that you and I really need to empower ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you will be going in jumping doon sa interdependent na realm, pero hindi mo natutunan na palakasin yung sarili mo, you are not aware of your strength and your weaknesses, baka
Mm-hmm.
pagdating mo doon, bubuhatin ka lang, hindi ka magbubuhat. That is
Yes.
why self-empowerment is really a crucial tool and a crucial skill that each and every one of us needs to acquire if we want to become good to great. So that is the tool for me, yung self-empowerment. I hope I made it clear to you, Coach.
Yeah. Oo. So yun. So yun nga. So that's it nga, no? If you want to, of course, win within, and sabi mo nga, coach, di ba? We need to empower ourselves first before we empower others. So that's the ano dun eh, just dun eh, di ba? And how can you win within if you don't have self-empowerment? And
Amen.
yun yung maganda ron, coach, no? So, what do you think, coach, naman, are the, kumbaga, ways that we can achieve self-empowerment, or an individual can achieve self-empowerment? Ano yung mga, kumbaga, let's say, kumbaga, basic things that he needs or she needs to do? Do you have any tips? Parang tips ba? Parang ganun.
Yes, meron akong acronym dyan.
Wow,
Ah,
yeah, yun. Sige, sige. That's good, that's good.
it's about realizations. Ano yung
Mm-mm.
realizations? Well, article lang naman yon is it's for me it's a combination of three words yung realization. Nang
Mhm.
unang-una is yung realize. Realize there is in order for us to be aware by ourselves to win within, we need to have awareness. And that is the synonym of realize. I have to be aware. A person needs to be aware. I have to be aware of my failures, of my weaknesses, of my strength. But of course, not totally. Hindi mo naman kasi talaga makikita yon. But alam mo naman, due to
Mhm.
your experiences and due to your failures and due to the people's reaction and respond to your action, magiging
Mm-mm.
aware ka, dito ako nagkamali. So the
Mhm.
realized part is that we should be able to have a realization moment. Yung ma-realize mo yung aware ka, shucks, mali ako
Mm-mm.
ron.
Mhm.
One good example, if I may, nung bata-bata ako, in order for me to, parang makapasok sa isang circle, kwento ako ng kwento. Parang before my idea of being accepted is that if I was the one, I'm the one talking and talking. But then I realized na pag hindi mga reaction ng mga new friends na nakikilala ko noon, parang hindi okay sa kanila yung salita ng salita. And because of that, I adjusted. And ano yung pag-adjust ko? I tried talking less. And eventually, tumagal yung friendship at naging lasting yung mga sinubukan ko na ganun idea. So that's the realized part, awareness. And then of
Mhm.
course, yung pangalawang acronym ko is yung learn. Learn is knowledge. Okay? Yung head knowledge mo talaga. You read, you listen, you read and you listen. And then yung dulo is the action. So the action part is everything you become aware of and everything that you've learned becomes effective. This is where the rubber meets the road kapag in-apply mo.
Mm.
And to that pattern, I believe na in myself, I am winning within because I am empowering myself.
Vice
Yun.
versa. Yun, yun, that's right, no? Actually, tama, we need realization, we need to realize things. That's basically self-awareness or yun nga, yung self-acknowledgement. We acknowledge, ano ba yung meron tayo, di ba? Parang kailangan alam natin yun what's happening within us, di ba? And at the same time, learn. So, syempre, we need to add knowledge. Kasi if we don't add knowledge to ourselves, how can we, di ba, empower others also? And at the same time, take action. O yun nga yung sinasabi nila na we need to act, because if we don't act, we cannot teach also to others how to empower them. Yun. Okay, that's good. That's great, no? Oh, Coach, we have we have a question.
Oh,
Oh, from Coach Mike. What was the one
oh,
life-changing event that disempowered you before that actually inspired you to be the self-empowered person that you are now?
wow. By
Diba?
the way,
From from
natin
disempowered to an empowered person, how, diba? How can you be one? How can you be an empowered person?
the life-changing event that disempowered me is that there's this attitude of mine that I always want to please everyone. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that in a hard way that you cannot please everyone. And because of that, I lost the boundaries. I lost even my self boundaries because I'm trying to please that person or those people in my life. It disempowered me kasi parang nakikita ko, I am being controlled or under. Hindi naman nila alam yun eh. It's really my problem because I'm trying to please them. It happened in the church. It happened in my workplace. It
Mm-hmm.
happened on the relationship that I've been through. I'm a pleaser. But then eventually, I learned because of that disempowering situation, it inspired me. I just have to please myself. Because if myself is pleased, there is a great chance that even they are not pleased, at least I am pleased with myself. So that inspired me to do that.
Yeah. Tama naman yun, coach, ano? Actually, yun nga, if you are a people pleaser, actually, ano ko rin yun naging sakit ko rin yun. We live on people's standards We live on other people's standards, not of our own. But of course, right now, we become life coach and we know already that, we need to really self-empower ourselves. So kaya, right now, naka-adjust na tayo. We are not living by other people's standards, but by our own standards. Sabi nga, di ba na, kumbaga, we live and please ourselves more in order that we can serve better and help others more. Yun.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Coach Mike, for that.
thank you, Coach Mike. So, any other question? Do we have other questions to read? Okay. So, I guess, there's, no. Okay, so yun nga coach, sabi mo nga yung realize, learn actions, so realization. So ano pa ba yung coach? Ano pa ba yung na-encounter mo sa buhay mo na yung sa tingin mo besides being a people pleaser, yun nga you're pleasing others. Ano pa sa tingin mo yung or ano sa tingin mo naman yung makakapag-empower mas makaka-help sa mga tao na ma-empower nila yung sarili nila. Parang gano'n, na mas madali nilang ma-empower yung sarili nila. Besides pleasing their self first.
Wow. Thank you. That's a good question. No? You have to know the difference between responsible for to responsible to. Okay?
Mhm.
You just change the last word, for in to. You
Mhm.
are responsible for yourself. You're
Mhm.
responsible for your well-being. You're responsible for everything that's going on with you. Okay? And you, most of the time, na pag i-interchange natin yon, we became responsible for what others feel, we became responsible for what others think, we became responsible for what others will do or eat, something like that. But the truth
Mhm.
of the matter is, pagdating sa ibang tao, we are just responsible to them.
Mhm.
We are responsible to what they feel. For example, a classic example of that in a husband and wife relationship. All right?
Mhm.
I'm not responsible for what my wife will think or
Okay.
what my wife will feel. Okay?
Mhm.
Hindi ko control 'yon. But
Mhm.
I am responsible to her welfare kung ano man yung mga mangyayari sa kanya.
Mhm.
Ah, For example, another example, dati iniisip ko, baka, baka mapahamak ang asawa ko kapag hinahayaan ko lang siyang mag-drive. Alright?
Mhm.
And that is why meron kaming biruan, ang tawag sa akin is the chauffeur ministry. And I don't mind because I feel that I'm responsible for the safety of my wife. But because of that, I'm not being, I supposed to be responsible to her dahil dapat hindi ko siya tinuturuan na maging, you know call that, independent sa sarili niya na mag-drive. So, ang responsible to sa kanya, mahal, you need to learn to drive on your own and by yourself. And because of that, I allowed her to do that thing. So, hindi na ako nag-aalala pag siya ang nagda-drive. Hindi na rin ako nai-stress sa mga bagay-bagay na yun. And I believe pag natutunan natin yon, you're just responsible for yourself and you're responsible to others. That's it, coach.
Yun. Okay, that's good. That's a good additional ano no tips. How about ano coach? Kasi I have this ano mga self-empowerment exercise. Actually, it's parang self-affirmations that I do every morning. Sabi nga, whenever I wake up and then kumbaga face the mirror, I usually talk to myself and yun nga, affirm kumbaga I do self affirmations. And yun, ikaw coach, meron ka bang certain practice na gano'n, and if ever what do you say to yourself or gano'n, or what affirmations do you say to yourself?
I look at my tats. I have several tats, okay? Every time na tumatawid ako dun sa realm, kasi pumipitik-pitik ulit yun eh.
Mm-hmm.
I should be pleasing them in something like that. I look at my tats and these tats affirm of who I am,
Mm-hmm.
affirm of my status. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing is that I always stick to my core values.
Okay, that's great.
And having a core values is really self-empowering. And I believe that is one thing. If there is thing idea that the audience will pick up, you should have really identify your core values. Because if you know your core values, you know when to say yes, you know when to say no, because it serves as a grade. So my tats and my core values.
Okay, no? Yeah, that's great core values. Sabi nga, we should be actually unapologetic, and at the same time, we really need to stick to our core values because basically, kumbaga ano yan that is what we follow in life our core values. Yun.
Correct.
Tama naman si Coach Pas Alan doon, no? Okay, so grabe. So I guess dun pa lang ang dami-dami na nating natutunan about how self-empowerment can really help someone to win within. So yun, sabi nga, you need to realize, you need to learn and take action. So yun. So thank you very much Coach Coach Alan for those winning words, ha.
Happy to
Coach
serve.
Coach.
Happy to serve.
Oh, so before we take a break, there's one question again that we need to read. There's another question. What's the biggest misconception about self-empowerment that you discovered in your own journey?
That it is selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That it's selfish to empower oneself
Mm-hmm.
because there is this notion, it's a lie that I believe for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
that I should be empowering others, that I should think of others.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great question, Coach Mike. That it's selfish, but then later on, I realized it's not selfish to take
Mm-hmm.
care of yourself first. It is godly to
Mm-hmm.
take care of oneself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I may quote from the scripture,
Mm-hmm.
when Jesus was asked, what's the greatest commandment? Sabi ni Jesus, you should love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. We
Mm-hmm.
have this misconception and misinterpretation that we should love others first before we love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I try to think of myself first, I thought of this, that's selfish. Every time I want to empower myself, it's selfish. But then I realized, teka,
Mm-hmm.
ang synchronization nun, ang order nun, unahin mo yung sarili mo so that you would be able to have some bala or to have something in you, something special, something potent to share to others. So yun.
Okay.
It's not selfishness.
Actually, yeah, that's true. No, I believe in that, no, coach. Kasi sabi nga, yun, actually, I'll just add a few for a few things with that, no. So self-empowering yourself, actually self-care and self-love. Those three are not. You're not being selfish. Actually, you're filling up yourself. You need to fill up yourself because so that you can show those love, show those care, and of course empower others. So yung kumbaga, ang makikinabang din naman nun lahat is others. So kasi yun naman yun, we want to help others, di ba? So whatever self-empowering, self-care, or self-love that we give to ourselves is something that we can give back to others. But of course, definitely we need to pour it into ourselves first before we can pour it out to others. So yun naman yung kinaganda ng coach. Okay, do we have another question? Okay, actually I'm waiting for this question. Hi, Coach Faye. Coach Faye, what is one great lesson this life taught you in terms of the profession that we are in now? Yeah, that we are in now.
What is one great lesson this life taught you in terms of the profession that we are now? That awareness, empowerment comes with self-awareness. That is the one great life lesson that taught us. If I am not aware of my own, if
Mhm.
I am not aware of my strength and my weaknesses, then it seems that I am a hypocrite to
Mhm.
point others' weakness and to
Mhm.
point others' strength if I
Mhm.
myself doesn't know that. So
Yes.
life coaching have really widened my awareness.
Mhm.
And when awareness is there, emotion will take place. Kasi, shocks, ganun pala ako. Shocks, ito pala ako. And when emotion kicks in, motion will follow. That's the time. It's the
Okay.
time kilos ka. So that's it. Thank you, Coach Ray. That's nice one.
Thank you, Coach Faye. So yun, great. From emotion to motion, ano? So, yun nga, kailangan maano muna natin yung sarili natin before we can take that motion. So, ang galing. Thank you very much. Do we still have other questions? Oh, yun. Core value is important. Thank you very much, Coach Faye. Preach on! Preach. So, yun. Okay. So, ayun. So again, thank you very much, Coach Paz, no, for sharing those words about self-empowerment. So more of self-empowerment and Coach Paz when we come back. So let's take a short break first. Okay, so let's go back to the station first, and let's go back to Win Within later on. Okay, so for our next shows, two leaders in one platform. TNC, The Talk, Mondays at 12 noon. Chill and Booze after shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Dream, Achieve, Nurture, and Inspire. Watch Dining Art Show, Fridays, 5:30 p.m. Learn Together Across Borders, Foreign Affairs, Tuesdays, 10:30 a.m. Because Health is Wealth, Healthline, Wednesdays and Fridays, 4 p.m. Celebrate Women at Work, 9 a.m. Saturdays. Always Have an Awesome Day, Mondays, 2:30 p.m. Cybernex empowers people and companies to be secured in the digital world, Wednesdays, 12 noon. Know the emerging technologies shaping our future, Tech U, Fridays, 2:30 p.m. Catch also our TNC original shows, One Day, a live storytelling, alternates with TNC Town Hall, co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd and Apple, a show where we talk to you, our valued audience. And of course, strategize and win in life through Win Within every Saturdays at 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Of course, hosted by yours truly, Coach Erwin. And of course, more upcoming TNC shows that will truly inspire you. And please follow also our channel on Facebook and YouTube, and let us help you see the new you. Yun. So thank you very much. Let's call on Coach Paz again. And Coach Paz, we are now in our portion, the for the win moment questions. Okay, for the win moment portion, Coach. So, ayan, meron tayong papaikuting ruleta, Coach, and you will just answer, Coach, during this moment in your life, what was your, kumbaga, relevant or yung pinaka naalala mo na failure, but you've tweaked it, and at the same time, actually, you won. So, nanalo ka, you win actually. You already won. Kumbaga, na-turn mo siya into a win. Yun. Okay? So, this is actually our for the win moment. Yan. So, spin it. Direct. Okay. Wow. Wow. So last month, Coach, what was your for the win FTW moment?
Well, I could, yes, last month there was this 52-day challenge that I shared
Okay.
in my word of the day morning devotion. And it's also a challenge that I made to myself. And this
Mhm.
52-day challenge that I did is for myself, is to make a book, make a
Mhm.
book out
Mhm.
of the devotions that I've been sharing. Okay.
Okay.
But in the in the middle of the month, alam mo yon, sumipa yung, shucks, parang, the questions na, may magbabasa ba niyan? May bibili ba niyan? Eh,
Mhm.
sino ba naman ang papansin yan? All of
Mhm.
those what if and all of those limiting beliefs.
Oo,
So
self-limiting.
yeah, self-limiting belief. I really stopped. I literally stopped. I stopped from thinking. I stopped from creating content. But then
Mhm.
eventually, when I realized ko, shucks. Eh, naalala ko nun, one of the self-empowering moment na na-realize ko nung bata-bata nga ako, and I applied it last month. Walang natatapos. Walang nararating yung mga walang natatapos. So eventually, just like what I've said a while ago, I look at my tats because this tats reminds me of who I am in front
Mhm.
of God. And then I remember my core values. What's my core values? One of my core values is family. The very
Mhm.
reason that I'm writing that book is not because for the sales and not because of other people, which I already overcome
Mhm.
way many years, not to please them, because my
Mhm.
core values is for my family, and I would like to leave this as a legacy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
matagal na
legacy.
ako, di ba? Maiiwanan ko yung sa anak ko. And then eventually, I started creating content again. I started working on it again. And right now, by God's grace, we are 90% and on its way to printing. So that's it.
Wow. Okay, so galing ha. So from failure na yun nga because of self-limiting beliefs, now you've overcome it, you've tweaked it, and at the same time you've won because right now you're already 90%. So konti na lang yun, coach. Push, push, push. And you're there already. Okay, so I guess you're ready na for our next moment in life, ha? Okay, spin it again, direct. Nako, eto, medyo dig in tayo ng konti. Batang-bata. Batang-bata pa tayo rito. So, Coach, during your grade school, yun, ano kaya yung naaalala mo na ano, you had this failure, then you tweak it, and then you you won after all.
Well, when I was in grade school, I'm really a not so good student. Actually,
Mhm.
I'm the bully of the school.
Wow.
And yes, and because I'm not proud, because of that, muntik akong hindi graduate. And because may
Mhm.
ginawa ako talagang kalokohan, violence, and
Mhm.
then talagang sobrang kalokohan. And hindi ako talaga kakagraduated. So that's the failure. Shucks, hindi ako gagraduate. Ah, Tapos parang pinababa nila. Sige, graduate ka, hindi ka lang papamartsahin. Sabi ko, kahit naman nung bata ako, parang gusto ko naman yung magmamarcha. But because of my stupidities and my mistakes, nangyari yun. But eventually, this is how it was tweaked. Because during that time, I'm a grade 6, I'm still dependent. I may be independent in some ways, independently stupid, but
Mhm.
during that time, I cannot do a damn thing. Sorry for the word, to get me
Mhm.
out of that mess. Even my mom, even my dad, my father, cannot get me out of that mess because it is a school decision. But there was this one woman, my advisor, Mrs. Eunice Tagalog. She fought for me. She presented that okay naman yung utak ko, talaga
Mhm.
lang yung ugali ko ang masama. Eventually, pinayagan because my advisor vouched for me. And I was able to graduate and hindi ko malimutan yon. Nung tinawag yung pangalan ko, talagang everybody clap, everybody cheer, not because I'm the valedictorian, but because sa wakas, nakagraduate din siya.
Yan, yun ang maganda naman eh, di ba? Kumbaga, nato-turn out natin yung isang ano, bagay na hindi ganun kaayos, but later on, I'm sure that really helped or honed you nga to be a better person that you are right now. Yun. So, for our last moment that you need to share your failure, tweak, and win. Okay. Okay, Coach, from your previous work, Coach, before being a pastor and the life coach, do you have ano, previous work?
In between, I'm a professor in this certain college. I would not mention the name because of
Okay,
the failure that I did. Okay.
okay,
Uh,
okay.
Inaway ko yung presidente.
Wow.
Inaway ko talaga. Inaway ko eh hindi a failure because of pride and arrogance. I was right, but during that time I'm supposed to be kind. So it's the time that I should be kind rather than being right because I was right. I insist that I'm right and I was right. And inaway ko talagang kasi walang tumatayo dun sa presidente na yun eh. Everybody was scared. Talagang sabi ko, wag mo akong kakantiin. Pag kinanti ako, eh, syempre, ang angas ko, and I'm right. Kinanti ko rin. Talagang napahiya, nagulat sa, and the failure, I really love teaching in that school because I've created moments with those students. And some of the students are in my church right now, and some of the students are still in touch with me. And right now, they are very, very successful students. Paano ko na-tweak yun?
Mm-mm.
Actually, I can only tweak it if I would be given another chance to work in that university kasi hindi na siya yung presidente.
Yeah, let's pray for that, di ba? Na makabalik ka ron and then at least, and I'm sure naman right now, di ba, you're a different, you're a different person, you're a different guy, you're already a pastor and a life coach, and I'm sure you will not only win people, and at the same, not only win, because you want to, kumbaga, um, get kumbaga yung matapol yung failure na nagawa mo, but at the same time win people, di ba? Win people in the sense na self-empower mo sila and they will win their lives. Syempre, yun. You're gonna help them win their lives. Win in their lives. So yun, galing. Thank you very much, Coach, for sharing. Coach,
Yes.
one question. If you see or if you meet the 21-year-old Coach Pas Alan, what will you tell him,
Get the insurance.
Coach?
Get 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 the insurance and don't buy fancy cars.
Okay.
That is what I will tell.
So
Because
parang
until now,
21 years old pa lang, yun agad ang gagawin. I mean, syempre, kakagraduate, di ba? From ano. So from the first job, agad, grab the opportunity agad for insurance.
yeah. And don't buy fancy cars.
Yes, oo. Tama. Actually, ano yan eh. Kumbaga practical. Even, di ba I think Warren Buffett, di ba? Ganun din siya eh. He doesn't buy fancy cars eh. In fact, yung house pa nga daw niya, parang matagal na, but he doesn't, change his house.
He drives an old car. He drives an
Yun
old
nga,
car.
yun nga. There was an article that I read na yun, he doesn't buy fancy cars. Even watch, yung mga ganon, hindi rin fancy watch.
Correct.
So yun. So thank you very much, Coach Paz, for sharing your for the win moment. Coach, before we let you go, no, any winning words for our audience,
The
especially on
word,
self-empowerment?
so words, it's plural, ah. Okay lang. Sige. All right. Before I share these words, and thank you very much again, Coach Erwin, for making me a part of the 8th episode of your Win Within series. And just like what I've said a while ago, number 8 is new beginning in the Bible. And let me share to you this winning within moments.
Mhm.
In Romans chapter 8, verse
Mhm.
23,
Mhm.
all things work together for the good of those who love him. Meaning to say, what Paul was trying to say to the Romans, no matter how creepy, how difficult, or how uncertain the situation that you are in right now, it will turn out to be good. I believe that is true because of the word that Isaac Newton have declared in the 1600. He
Mhm.
said, Annus Mirabilis. Now,
Mhm.
what is Annus Mirabilis is all about? 1616, there is a plague na nangyari sa London. And
Mhm.
sila the quarantine. And because he was in quarantine, he was forced back to go to his home. But it did not stop Isaac Newton from studying. Wala siyang kasama, wala siyang professor na mag-i-empower sa kanya. He read, he studied, and one time, because of his awareness, nalaglag yung mansanas. Nung nalaglag yung mansanas, he thought, shucks, there must be a reason bakit nalaglag yung mansanas. And
Mhm.
thus, fast forward, he discovered the theory of gravity in
Gravity.
a time where pandemic in quarantine is happening. But wait, there's more. The same 1600. If you're familiar with William Shakespeare, nagkaroon
Mhm.
ng tinatawag na Black Plague. So
Mhm.
lahat ulit quarantine. And because
Mhm.
knowing Shakespeare, walang mga tao, walang inspirasyon, nandoon lang siya sa dulo ng sa loob ng bahay niya. And that was the time he was able to write the famous play, Macbeth. Okay?
Mhm.
Yung Macbeth, grabe. Kung walang quarantine ngayon, taon-taon kumikita pa rin yung mga nagtatranslate or nagpo-portray ng Macbeth. And again, it was discovered, it was created in the time of quarantine. Last na lang, coach. Last na lang. Noong 1900, a guy named Edward Munch,
Uh-huh.
nagkaroon ng Spanish plague. Quarantine ulit. So, nung kinwarantin ulit siya, because he's a painter, wala siyang mapinta, and because of being aware of himself, sabi niya, hindi ako papayag na wala akong mapinta, he painted his own self. And that's the beginning of self-portrait. Ito yung father of selfie. And it
Mhm.
all happened during a time where nobody is expecting to create something beautiful. Annus Mirabilis is what Isaac Newton declared during that time. It is the year of wonders. If you and I are aware of our strength and capabilities, 2020 is not yet over, and I guarantee you, you are not yet late in creating wonders this 2020. Annus Mirabilis. Sorry, nag-preach na.
Yeah, it's okay, Coach. So thank you very much, Coach, for those winning words, no? Of course, syempre, dami namin bigla natutunan. From the self-empowerment, plus yun pa, no, Coach? Okay, Coach, so before we let you go, medyo photo op muna tayo, Coach, ha? Yan. So, win within post muna tayo, Coach. Ito. Yan.
Ay, hindi ba West
Yung
Side
ano,
yan?
nakaganto. Yan. Okay, smile, Coach. Okay. Okay, thank you. So, Coach, I'll meet you pa backstage. So, thank you again. Thank you very much for your winning words. Thank you for allowing us na ma-invite ka to guest to our show tonight. Okay, so thank you very much on preaching. No, not preaching, but actually sharing to us on how can self-empowerment, of course, help us win within in our lives. Thank you very much, Coach. Okay, so winners, grabe, ang dami nating natutunan ngayon from self-empowerment wherein we need to do realization, we need to realize and realize ourselves. Dapat meron tayong self-awareness, self-acknowledgement, and we need to learn, no? Be responsible. Kasi how can we self-empower others if we don't learn, if we don't get those knowledge, and at the same time take action. We need to take action. We need to teach. Okay, we need to teach whatever we learn in order for people to be self-empowered, and at the same time, we need to stick with our core values. Okay, and sabi nga nung huli, even though there's plagues or pandemic, a lot of good things that are happening, and ako personally, I am thankful because win within actually is yun ngayon, nangyari ngayon during the pandemic season. And of course, the new channel, TNC, nangyari ngayon. So I'm praying that that the show and at the same time the whole TNC channel will of course definitely soar more, soar high, especially not even if we go beyond this pandemic season. Yun. So thank you very much. Again, do join me again next Saturday. We'll do have exciting guest again. This time naman we'll be talking more about niche, okay, and how it will help you win within, of course. Again, do join me 8:30 to 9:30 here on TNC, the new channel, and we of course help you to see the new you. Ano pa ba? Ano pa bang di natin nasabi? Again, 8:30 to 9:30. So, and I would like to shout out mga pala to my friend JD Cortez. Good job in launching your Quicks and Adidas shirts. So I'm wearing one right now. So thank you very much. Of course, I would like to share this. I always say this every time I end the show. If you're in your life journey, in whatever state you are in right now, you are worthy to win in life because you can always win within. So guys, see you again next Saturday. Thank you very much. Be a blessing and be blessed. God bless you all. Good night, winners. Good night po.